Hello, all, and Happy New Year, and welcome to the Just Keep Showing Up podcast. To start this new year, we're flipping the script a little bit, and I'm here with your favorite podcast host, Derrick Williams, and we're going to be doing a little interview on him to start out 2026. And so, when I was thinking of how I was going to make sure this was all encompassing and we got to know Derrick really well, I decided to take a little poll of our gym members to see what they thought of Derrick. And so I gave everybody 2 words and just said, when you think of Derrick, what are the first 2 words that come to your mind? And so here are a couple.
Uh-oh, am I ready? I'm a powder puff.
All right, I had one very lovely woman say wisdom and loyal.
Oh, wow.
Another one say joy and laughter.
Okay.
Another member said genuine and passionate. And then
Mm.
my personal favorite, Ted Lasso.
Yes, Ted Lasso is my guy.
Ted Lasso is your guy.
That's very thoughtful.
Yeah. And there were a couple of other people I asked, but these were just some of the ones that I also really agreed with. And if I had more words, I'd probably use all of those as well.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So welcome. Welcome to your own podcast.
Yes, this is pretty cool. And I'll say, when you mentioned that you were going to interview me, that you would like to do that, that's when I was like, hey, we should probably try to put some kind of studio together because we've been doing everything audio. So we're going to attempt to put this on YouTube and see how it goes.
Absolutely.
But worst case, we will have it on Spotify and Apple.
Yeah.
And
So everybody,
one
please
other
admire
place.
all of the backdrops and the lighting and everything. We look
Yes.
really good for this.
Yeah, and we worked out this morning, so that's great.
Yep,
as
that's
well.
right. Can't tell, but we got a little pump going on.
Yes.
All right.
And
So
we automatically were in alignment with the all black.
yeah. Well, I know that you showed me that you had the all white backdrop, and I was like, gotta stand out.
Yes.
So,
Yes,
okay.
we appreciate it. Am I ready for this?
Yes. So here we go.
Okay.
Okay. So I got all of our gym members 2 words on you. If you only had 2 words to describe yourself, what would you?
2 words to describe myself. So lately, I've been thinking about this a lot. Not necessarily since you gave me the questions, but I think something I was looking at on Instagram, and it mentioned if you take all your titles away and all the things you kind of earned in life, like what would be your essence? And for me, I would want that to be love and understanding. Just if if a person kind of encounters me, even if it's in a I guess a negative way, that maybe to be a little bit more understanding, and I kind of walk away or let the person have their say. I mean, that's a lot easier said than done. And then just love is important to me, and it's not necessarily like a love of like intimacy. Well, I think you can have very intimate relationships with people that are friends,
Mhm.
because it's not
Absolutely.
just like when you think intimacy, you're thinking like a sexual thing of just like a closeness and vulnerability. But allowing people, just definitely love and understanding, but on the love side, just based on my belief system, I feel that that's my reasonable service to those people that I'm in doing life with. And I don't want to come off as like this getting it right person all the time, because I know me and I know my shadow side. But it's just so people can know that there's something unique and special about them. So I often try to remind people of that, of what I see in them, and what I admire in a person. And many people that's been on the podcast with someone that I admired something in them, and I was like, hey man, would you like to be on the show? Because I feel the show was kind of designed. I made it for myself, and other people kind of get the benefit from it. But I try to always keep that thought of I'm making something that I enjoy, and a lot of other people benefit from it. So that's a long way to answer your question, but love and understanding.
No, that's perfect. I feel when the other gym members that, I asked this question to,
Mm-hmm.
they gave their 2 words, and it was very reluctantly because they all had more words to say
Yeah.
about you. And
Mm-hmm.
you you touch a lot of people, I think, even when you don't realize it. Like, the first thing that comes to mind when you say love, the very first interaction I remember us having is, like, you telling me you appreciated my physique and you liked how I lifted, and
Mm-hmm.
you were just giving me a compliment, something
Yes.
just very wholesome and genuine and, whatever. And, like, little did you know that day, but I was like, I remember this. I was having kind of like a bad week and just very down on myself. I remember it was
Mm-hmm.
like in January or February, and like we're in the winter, the dark months,
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
coming off holidays, and I was just not feeling great about my body. And you just said something that was so, like, respectful, but so kind and compassionate. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that, what you just touched on with love, and there's obviously the intimate kind of love, but there's the friendship love, and
Mm-hmm.
that can be
Yes.
intimate in a different way. And I
Yes.
think that
Yeah.
pretty much encompasses like everything that
Mm-hmm.
you are as a person.
Yeah.
So I agree.
I really appreciate that. And and we kind of talked about this recently. or we've talked about it before. Uh, like I've been really big on trying to trust my instincts. I guess instinct isn't the word. Just trying to trust in my gut. And I've had things happen, where I'm like, oh man, it's something simple. I often say, like, if I feel something telling me, hey, stop and get gas. Sometimes I may not stop. And then the next morning it's like, I'm rushing.
Yeah.
Man, I should have stopped to get gas. So I'll say, even with that, what you just mentioned, I remember that day as well. Because if anybody knows you and they see you in the gym, you're not the person somebody's just going to walk up to and start talking to, because you have like a built-in defense mechanism,
Yeah.
the RBF.
Yeah.
We call it the RKF, rest in
Yeah.
kind face, because you're a
Yeah.
very kind person, I believe. But I was like, man, I'm just gonna like say something. Hopefully he doesn't think I'm like creepy or something. So just very it's very good to know that that was something you needed in that day.
Mhm.
And it just reminds me to continue to trust myself. When I feel like I want to say something. 'Cause I do feel like it's a gift. I have like this gift of edification where I didn't understand when I was a child. I just like there's too many people, like I don't know, like this whole energy and empath thing. But understanding that, I mean, sometimes when I say things, it affects people in a very good way. So some of it's like, very intentional and just trying to cultivate that. So
Yeah.
yes, thank you.
Absolutely. So you just mentioned something about being young. My
Mhm.
second question I have for you is I find this very interesting because
Mhm.
I met you as a 48-year-old.
Yes.
You're
Mhm.
49 today.
Yes.
I met you as a 48-year-old. And so you
Mhm.
had, 47 years and, 364 days before that, before I met you. So
Mhm.
how would you describe yourself as a kid growing up?
I would say I was very athletic and very goofy. I would say goofy and extremely friendly, but then shy also as a kid.
Mhm.
And my mom, like I was spoiled by my mom. And it's not necessarily
Were you an
spoiled.
only kid?
Yeah, I'm an only child.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
So spoiled wasn't always financially, my mom did the best she could with what she had, but it was definitely spoiled by love. Like
Absolutely.
I was my mom's, that's my baby.
Yeah.
So that kind of built in like this thing of like I would cry a lot uh, and then the shyness, now that I'm older, I realize I think the shyness was just that I feel like we all have this thing, who we are authentically. We all have our gift. And I think mine was the fact that people were drawn to me even as a child, but that kind of made me nervous,
Mhm.
because it's just too much energy for me. But I would say as a kid, just very, again, shy. Like sports was like football, for example, came very easy for me. That's something I grew up doing all the time. I can thank my big cousin Billy, who passed away years ago, but he was like 5 years older than me. So I had him as like the person to kind of teach me certain things or hang out with all of his friends that were, I'm 9, they're 14, or I'm
Yeah.
8. And so he taught me a lot of stuff. But I would say shy. There's something else that's so interesting in my childhood, and probably why sometimes I wonder if there's like this little kid, and well, I think we all have a little person inside of us. Because I think you touched on that when we did a show, your episode.
Yep.
Uh, Believe it or not, I used to like every neighborhood I lived in, there was always a bully, like a person who picked on me. Like I remember these people.
Really?
I won't say their names, but I remember
You got a
this.
list
Like,
of them in your
yeah,
mind.
3 particular guys that I lived in 3 different distinct, like, neighborhoods that I could remember, and these 3 different people, everywhere I went, they was like I would get in fights. Like, man, I don't wanna fight. So I think now, I don't know if there's, like, this little kid in me like, "Okay, we gonna work out and go to the gym and have this built-in protection where people
Yeah.
think that I wanna fight, but I really don't."
Yeah.
You know? And then I also don't I wonder if that's how I show up, is trying to just bring everybody together. I think a lot of it is just who I am, just authentically too, like being a Libra. I'm a whole a zodiac sign guy, and I love God too. So it's kind of, you can do both. Like, a
Yeah.
lot of people don't believe that. So hopefully I answered that question, kind
Yeah.
of how I
No,
was as a kid.
absolutely. Yeah. 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 Absolutely. I think it's interesting too. Your your mom spoiling you in love, you said.
Hmm.
I mean, I would argue that's not more important, but more maybe meaningful
Hmm.
than if you're spoiled with money.
Yes. Yeah.
Because I the older and older I get, the more I realize people grow up in very broken homes and just
Hmm.
different than what I had a very loving, supportive
Hmm. Yes.
upbringing, from both my parents, just in sports and academics and
Yeah.
in life, just,
Hmm.
emotionally. And so I feel like maybe for you being spoiled in love, like you said,
Hmm.
that maybe has manifested itself in like you allowing yourself to like feel your feelings and maybe be being an empath because of that, because
Hmm.
you know how you're feeling, and so you can surmise or guess how somebody else is feeling
Yes.
and really connect with
A
that.
absolutely. I can yeah, 100%, and that's through, like, going through therapy and realizing and going and being depressed too and realizing that, "Hey, I need to feel my way through this." Like, I can't you put on, like, this you're happy all the time, and it's not the case. It was rough times, like, "Man, I need to feel my way through this," and then also in that process, understanding other people go through very difficult times. And I'll say with my mom with the love, and I agree with you that, we all have our different challenges. I could think of another person who was on a podcast and they talked about, being spoiled with all these different things financially. The person provided very well, but he needed support in other areas, and his father didn't provide that for him. And I would say my mom, she's like the way she raised me and the amount of love she showed me, it really has like passed on. Like I passed that on, or I don't feel like I have to look outside for love. Like she,
Mhm.
like I'm like legit like a number one fan. You hear people talk about that, but like sometimes like I mean, she knows that I got issues. She's my mom. Like for sure, she knows she has
She's the number
issues.
one person who is
Yeah,
probably, yeah.
yeah, but I feel like having that support system, and I think of another good friend of mine, Courtney. Like I can remember being in high school, and I mean, she like I've never, of course, was never like a big celebrity or nothing like that. But I'm telling you, man, she sure made me feel like I was super special.
Mhm.
So you have that,
I
so I
guess
don't
it's
have
a
to look.
gift that certain people have too, like, to make you
Yeah,
just feel, yeah, special and
yes,
unique,
and
yeah.
and and I think that's how I'm able to show up the way I do, and also understanding that I just believe we all have something in us, even the most gangster person. Like there's something in there that human side, I guess you can say that the human part. I don't even know if I'm still answering your question. I think about a video I saw, and I'm from Louisiana. It was the prison there, which is a very, very rough prison. And someone in the prison decided for like the guys that have been like good behavior and everything had a father daughter dance in the prison.
Mm,
And it's just to kind of show that those guys, they're human too. They've made their mistakes. They're paying the consequences for those mistakes, but they're still human. And it was just so moving to me. And I feel like that's what it is with everybody. Even I think of like my worst person I could think of right now to come to my mind. Uh, I'm like, there's some reason why that person's showing up that way. Of
yeah.
course, there's consequences to everything. But yeah, back to my mom. Like she definitely kind of shaped me into how it was actually been raised by. It was just women around, like my mom's friends. She has three very close friends, and they were there all the time. So it's like another woman. And I always say when I needed permission for something, and it's kind of going off topic, but it was women that I would ask. So now that
Mhm.
I'm an adult, I tend to like have like a lot of friends that are women
Mhm.
because that's a safe space for me.
Yeah,
But then somebody told me, "Well, Derek, you a man, so you trust yourself, so you got to trust men too, right?" I was like, "Okay, you're right." So I kind of changed it different. I have some people, my friend Nate. I feel like I can call Nate. I've been on the phone crying with Nate before,
yeah,
so
yeah,
or my friend Brandon. So it's like, hey, but yeah, just feeling what I feel and being free to do that.
absolutely. So you've
Yes.
named a couple people in your childhood who still exist today, but, your mom, you were talking about your cousin Billy, your mom's friends. Would you say that there's one person in particular, maybe you've kinda already answered this, but, like,
Hmm.
that has been sort of the most influential person on from your childhood into your adult life?
Man,
And, I mean, that could be a family member, it could be a non-family member, it could
yeah.
be, president or a celebrity or whatever, like, do you just think there's one person in particular that
Yeah, it's I mean, I guess I can like a huge like if I go of course like the standard answer is my mom. I've talked about her a lot. And my grandmother and my mom's sisters, and then my mom's friends. But if I like step back away from that, just think of like out in the world of like what I'm studying now or like a big pivot point for me. Like there's Brene Brown is someone I think of that comes to mind that has done a lot of work, on humans and psychology. And I can remember I had this job in the army and I was like in charge of like everybody within my organization. And that was when I stumbled upon Brene Brown, the power of is the power of vulnerability, I believe is what it is. And that moved me so much because it was all about people realizing that we all need each other and we all have different roles. And are we willing to be vulnerable enough to allow my imperfections to appear so other people can show their imperfections and we all come together as a unit and we form a whole. And that's kind of what she was trying to get at to show that hey, we all need each other. She calls like inextricable. I don't even know the word, like connected. I don't know the word.
inextricable maybe?
Yeah, yeah. You the genius in this on this podcast.
Heard
The
that
very
word
smart one. Yeah,
maybe once or twice before,
yeah, but
yeah.
that we're connected. So Brene Brown is a big person, like I say, like outside of my family and immediate friends. And then I tell you another person back going to high school. was my football coach. I think a lot of people that are athletes have
Yeah.
coaches that, and the football coach name is Coach Schroeder, and he was my quarterback coach in high school. I played quarterback my last 2 years in high school, and Coach Schroeder was just like, just I don't know, just a person who I don't know. I just he was just a great person, and kind of shaped me. I can remember when of course, he did this for the football team, but I didn't. I failed I think in the 11th grade, I failed my history class, and he went and talked to the teacher, and I ended up getting a D in the class, so I could play football and get a 2.0. Then I remember moving to the front of the class, and this was history. I hate history. I didn't like history. Moved to the front of the class, end up like getting an A, I think the last semester, whatever it's called. And that was kind of like a start of saying, okay, I'm not really dumb or just not smart. I just need to apply myself more. So Coach Schroeder as well. Uh, and I'm thinking another person, this is going to be very strange and weird to say this because I'm divorced now, but I can honestly say my ex-wife, believe it or not, is someone who like played a huge role in like how I show up today.
I don't think that's strange or weird. I
Yeah.
think somebody that you're with for, was it
Yeah.
2 decades?
Yes.
I mean,
And,
that's a huge part of your life. It's,
yeah.
just a bit
Yes.
under half your life. So
Yeah.
I think that's a
And
very
it's
fair answer.
and I think about because there's so many things that I learned along the way that I just didn't know that she taught me or she desired, and now I get to I show up now as a better human
Mm.
off of those things. She was almost like I won't say sacrifice of all of that, but it's things you do things, you have your certain reasons for it, and you end up where you end up. Uh, and I'm at peace with everything. But there's so many things I learned during that time with us being together. Played a huge role in who I am today. And I'm not saying anything negative. I'm not talking about the things that happen of why we got a divorce, but I'm talking about like the positive things along the way.
I think
You
that's
know.
so beautiful because I'm sure you've met incredibly angry divorced people who
Mhm.
don't possess the ability to see any of the good or,
Mhm.
the lessons that were learned. And so I think it's such a beautiful thing that you, for what it was,
Mhm.
and
Yeah, we had our challenges now. Don't I ain't coming off like
oh yeah,
this. Like it's perfect and beautiful, but I learned a lot, and I just want to honor that too. Just
absolutely.
be honest about it.
Absolutely.
So
I'm gonna wrap that up by saying I feel like I would describe this as you are a man who seems to be written by women.
yeah.
That, your creators, if you will. I mean your mother obviously, but
Mhm.
that you were affected by so many
Yes.
strong, it seems like, women in your
Mhm.
young life that have, helped create you into the person you are today.
Yes.
So
Very, very true.
man written by woman.
Very true. I've never heard that could be a song.
Yeah, I like
I
that
can't
one.
sing.
I like that one. All right, so we are going to move on to a little more of a lighthearted segment.
Lighthearted segment.
First ever on this podcast.
Yes.
A little bit of a this or that.
This or that. Okay, I don't know if I'm ready for this.
Yeah. So
Uh,
it starts out kind of silly goofy and then
okay.
we get into a little more whatever. But
Okay.
I'm gonna present you with two things, items, ideas, concepts, whatever. And you're
Okay.
gonna pick which
All right.
one you prefer.
Okay.
All right. Starting out easy. Sweet or savory?
Savory.
I just guessed that from growing up in Louisiana and like the type of like soul food that you have down there,
Mhm.
I guessed it was gonna be
Oh
savory for
yeah, I
you.
needed to. I mean, I love sweets, but I need some savory food that's going to be like you taste it once and then you swallow it and you taste it again. That's like good food.
Absolutely. Yeah, I won't get into what my answer is, but it's so hard to choose between those for me. All right, summer or winter?
Winter,
Really?
100% winter. Yes,
You like being cozy?
I like being cozy, and I love the part between what is that fall leading up to winter, and then I think it was maybe football is like in winter. We have the NFL, the playoffs are starting.
Super
I'm like a
Bowl,
weird person. Super Bowl
holidays.
with the holidays, and that's the one time, no matter what's going on in the world, people tend to be loving. Like they all
Mhm.
love each other. Like Thanksgiving on to Christmas. So, and I enjoy the snow. I remember I lived in Alaska and learned how to ski, downhill ski when I lived in Alaska. And I remember when I was a instructor in the Army, and I used to always tell the students something unique about me is I'm the only black guy from Louisiana that knows how to downhill ski, which that is not true at all. But I thought it
That
was funny.
no,
So
that would be, my
yes, but
fun
that's
fact
it.
at parties.
Winter. Yeah. So and I like the hoodies. I gotta wear a
Mhm.
hoodie, and I like the winter dress. I could put on a sweater and hide like all the extracurricular activities I have going on.
I do have to say that's one of my favorite parts too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a
You
summer
summer,
I'm a
yes.
summer girl. It's
Mhm.
like my birthday, and I just like
Yes.
love being able to be in the water. But there's a lot of perks to winter too, no
Yes.
doubt.
Yeah.
Okay, early mornings or late nights?
Early mornings.
No, yeah, I knew that one. Yeah, from
Yes,
the
you know
get
that
go.
from the gym.
Yep.
Yes, I'm an early morning person.
There's something about getting up before most of the people,
Yes.
in your time zone or whatever, are
Mhm.
awake and accomplishing something like going to the gym, or
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
or even if it's reading a book or like whatever it is,
Mhm.
it's like something about finishing a task early for
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
Yes. And I think early morning is like again, going to the piece. You never really hear about early on 4 o'clock in the morning. This man was murdered. He's always like late at night. He was coming.
Fair
Joking,
point.
murders do happen because 4 a.m. is pretty much late at night. You know what I mean?
Very true.
Yeah, I'm an early morning person.
All right. Phone call or text message?
Please send me a text message. Believe it or not, I'm not a big phone person. Here's something that's very funny. I'm so happy this is cool that we're doing this because it sounds good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nora, for inspiring us to like do a video. Not you didn't, but just asking to do this.
I feel so professional now. I just get like a quick little aside. I
Do the
feel
little
like,
look over here. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh,
man, I think
yeah.
it's gonna look good.
oh yeah.
But here's something very funny. Buddy, my friend, my homie, my brother that has become a brother is my friend Nathan Shepard. One thing I love about Nate, I'm not a phone person, but Nate will call me on his way to work at least easily 3 times out of 5, three times a week on his way to work.
Mhm.
And I told him, I was like, Nate, if you didn't call, man, we wouldn't talk because I'm not a phone person. But I know for him and my appreciation for him and my love for him, like if I can answer his phone, I do, and we talk. And sometimes it's like a therapy, like we talked just recently, it's like a therapy session for me. Like I
Mhm.
needed to get some stuff off my chest.
Yeah.
But I prefer text message all day. Unless we have to get on the phone and talk. Like I'm not going to send a text if it's something serious because people can make up their own tone and people like, and he said, it's like he sent a
I
text
didn't
message.
say all that. Yeah, I didn't say all that actually. There was no subtext. Yeah.
No. But people make up. Yeah. So text message.
I think one of the perks too, you can think about what you're going to say a little more. Sometimes
true.
I admire people that have the ability to somewhat quickly say what is on their mind very articulately.
Mhm.
I'm not one of those people all the time. I feel sometimes I got good one-liners, and then
Mhm.
most of the time it's like,
Yeah.
word vomit. But I do have to agree, like it's nice to get a text, be able
Mhm.
to think about it for a little bit, and,
Yeah.
and send
I
something.
know I worked somewhere where I had someone tell me if you're angry with someone and you want to send them an email, this is before like text was as big as it is. Send the email to yourself and then read it and then decide if you want to send it to them. And text kind of gives you the
Mm.
freedom to do that. There's been many times I write a text out and then delete it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? It ain't that serious because
I'll have a full like notes app page of like texts, the stuff that
Mhm.
you're like, okay, that didn't quite sound right. Here's another
Yeah.
iteration, whatever.
Yes.
Yeah. So I
Mhm.
totally hear you.
Yes.
All right, next one. Planned vacation or spontaneous trip?
Spontaneous trip.
Mm.
Plan is it's too stressful. Like, I mean, you're going on vacation. Why do I want to make the vacation stressful by planning? But I know for some people, that's not stressful. It's actually organizes the vacation for them. For me, if he was like, hey, man, let's go ride to New York right now. We're going to figure out what we're going to do when we get there. I'm like, bet, let's go.
I'm in.
But all of that, okay, we got to do this at this time, do this at that time. Like, brother, we on vacation. We do that at work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I got to plan out my 9 to 5,
Yeah.
5 days a week. So,
Yeah, all my Virgos out there, they're certified planners. Yes.
do you have a favorite spontaneous trip of yours that comes to mind?
I don't actually. That's what makes it spontaneous. Mm-mm.
All right.
I don't have a spontaneous trip.
You don't have to come up with one right now.
Mm-mm.
I understand the point though.
Yeah.
It's fun to just be off the cuff.
Yes.
All right. This one's kind of silly. Would you prefer to be always slightly too cold or always slightly too warm?
Always slightly too cold.
So
I could put more clothes on. I can only get to my birthday suit. Then we out here making money. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I need to make a couple of dollars if I'm taking everything. But sitting those, because I immediately start, as soon as you asked that question, the first thing I thought about was sleeping. I cannot sleep very good when it's hot. So if it's cold, I can grab another blanket. And even if it's kind of chilly, like I'll eventually go to sleep. So definitely slightly too cold.
You can't really argue with the I can always put more stuff on. I can't take more
Yes.
stuff
Yeah,
off. There's
that's
just
it. No, it's a
that
limit.
is-
It's
that is-
limited.
That's
Yes.
what it is. All right. You could have one superpower.
Oh, man,
Teleporting or mind reading.
that's an easy one too. Let me teleport.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I want to know what's on everybody's mind. Can you imagine that?
That's
Can you imagine walking around and it's mind reading that you can't turn off.
Okay, if it's mind reading, you can't turn off. That I hadn't even thought of that. I was just
Yeah.
thinking it could be selective.
But selective is good too. Yeah, if
Yeah.
you can selectively do it, but I still want to teleport.
You're
And the
like,
reason
I
for
don't
that,
want to be on the call all this
no,
time.
no. And the reason for it is I feel like the mind reading thing, I already have that. Like I can feel stuff.
Great
Like,
intuition.
yes, and it's not something I've tried to cultivate it, but I can kind of because you can look at eyes as like the last thing that I'm paying attention to when I'm actually talking to someone and I'm having questions on if they're being truthful is what they're saying. I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at like hands and eyes and movement, and I feel like
Body
all of that. Yeah,
language
body
is
language really
it's called language for a reason.
it is, and it's the thing that people I don't think we don't think about that. We don't think about like even if you do a fake smile, a real smile, you're gonna have like the little crow's feet. That's how we end up getting these. That automatically is gonna like make the crow's feet like thing, symbol thing, whatever. When you're doing a genuine smile like that,
Yeah.
that was a genuine smile.
Yeah.
When you do the fakes, that doesn't happen. So if you're paying attention, you
I've
know that
never
they do. So definitely teleport. Like I'm thinking about like a place I could teleport right now.
Mm.
Can you imagine being able to tell like you have a friend that's like across the country and they having a rough time and you can just hold that thought right there, bloop, and you right in front of them. You give them a hug, like bloop, and you come back home. Yes, teleport.
And if it could work across oceans, I think I'm probably in with you too because I
Yes.
have so many places on my bucket
Yes.
list and in Europe and Australia and different places.
I know when I first met you, and I think we connected on Instagram. We were definitely going to the same gym. I thought you like lived in Europe, but I think that was a time when you was doing a lot of traveling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, she must live in Europe, and she's over here like I don't know, a professional athlete or something.
God, I wish. I wish. That's
Yeah.
the daydream. Yeah. I had an extraordinary 2024 and that was
Yeah,
that was
that
the
was
year.
the year. Yeah,
Yep.
yes.
Yeah.
It's gonna
so
happen though. You got big plans coming up. So
I hope so. We're
yes.
manifesting that for
We are,
2026.
yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And the rest of life. All right.
This is fun.
Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah. We're probably about halfway through. Group hangouts or one-on-one conversations.
I am definitely man. That's a tough one. But okay, I just have to pick one. So I would say group hangouts. And the reason for it is because the whole community thing of pulling people together and you can, at least in that moment, say for instance, I mean, I think now politics is so polarizing. You can't we can kind of bring people together who disagree with certain things. But I feel you can put people in the same room who may not agree on certain things. You can have like do something that's enjoyable and still have fun. And it's just the community piece.
Yeah.
But I really, really enjoy one-on-one conversation. But if I had to pick one to do, it would be the group. Yeah.
I think this is a really tough one, and I'm not going to give an answer because I really don't know what mine is. But I think it's even if you're in a group hangout setting, you
Yes.
can still have intimate conversations
Yes.
in a group
I
setting
just thought about
if
that,
you have
yeah.
the right people, you know.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
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 All right, good answer.
That's these are good.
Yeah. All right, next one: taking risks or playing it safe.
We're gonna take risks at this point in our life because I feel like I mean just even playing it safe is a risk because you think you're in control. You know what I mean?
Whoa.
But
Well,
yeah.
we're gonna repeat
Yeah.
that. Taking a risk or playing it safe is even taking a risk because you think you're in control.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
very
yes.
profound. Yeah.
No, and I never thought of that before until you said it. That's just the energy, Nora. It's like the good vibe. We may have to start a podcast together.
Yep.
Like Nora D, the Nora D show.
Nora, Derrick and yeah,
Yes,
there's some possibilities
Nora D.
there.
But I've never thought about that before. But I immediately said take risk, and what I thought about was love. And I know many people have been hurt before. I've hurt people, but I just like believe in it, and I feel it's all to me. My philosophy is always worth the risk of being hurt to be able to enjoy, the love for the time that you do enjoy it. And then again, I never thought of that before until you asked the question. But yeah, playing it safe because you think it's safe. Like you say, hey, I don't know, I'm gonna drive my car to California instead of flying in a plane. Of course, we know driving is more likely that you would get in an accident. So that's probably not a good example. But you do one thing because you're afraid that something else can happen for the other thing, and then it can happen because there's so many other people, so many other factors. So I'm gonna take a risk and be like, God, I mean, I took the risk, God. That's why I'm standing in front of you. But you know what I mean? At least I had fun doing it.
Absolutely. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm 100% on the taking a risk. I mean, there's got to be a little bit of like some guide rails there.
Yeah, it's definitely a calculated risk, but
I mean, this podcast is not about me, but
it is. It's about us. Yes.
I'm taking, I feel like what I think is a risk in trying to get into medical school and really,
Yes.
pivoting. Like I feel like I've done a 180 and, putting not all my eggs in one basket, but I am
Yeah.
putting all of my energy, I would say,
Yeah.
towards this, getting into med school thing. And, the playing it safe option would have been staying at a job that I didn't really enjoy. And,
Yeah.
you know, I think no matter I mean, I believe that I'm gonna get in medical school, but no matter
Yes.
what happens, I will at least know
Mhm.
that I gave it a shot. And
Yes.
that's so in my eyes, so much better than not knowing.
I agree, and I feel a peace comes with that, like, you can walk away with peace knowing that, okay, because you would definitely know, okay, just it wasn't for me, like, I did everything I did, I
Yep.
studied, I got the scores I needed, I didn't get in.
And I think a piece of that too is, like, maybe you feel similarly, but I view failure in such a different way than what I did when I was younger. I mean, welcome it is maybe strong, but I think I embrace it much better now
Mhm.
than what I did when I was younger. And, maybe, being young in high school or college, that failure was not doing well in an exam or,
Yeah.
failing a run test or something like that. And, like, those in my mind now, that's just an opportunity to
Yes.
get better,
Yes.
you
That's what
know?
it is. That's I mean, that's school. That's very true.
That's life.
Like, it is life, and it's like you take a shot, and yeah. I mean,
Absolutely.
failure is actually not trying. That could be failure. I could you know what I
Wholeheartedly
mean?
agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not
Yep.
even tries.
Yep. No, that's a good one.
Yes.
All right, we got three more left, and I like these ones. This one is like very philosophical.
Oh,
Change the world in a small but real way, or change one person's life very deeply. Because
okay, what was the
this
first
hit.
one again?
Yep.
Change the world.
Change the world in a small but real way, or change one person's life very deeply. This touches on a lot of different, like kind of personality
Yeah,
characteristics.
it
I think.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because I think about the one person change the one person's life. Like it's a huge change for that person, right?
Mhm.
That's one person, but that one person can change, can touch other
Ripple
people.
effect, right?
But then changing the world, you said in one small way, but it's the entire world gets it. Does the entire world need that change? Man, that is very
It's yeah, I'm not even quite sure what my answer is, but it's an interesting question because I
hmm,
think the world versus one person thing,
yeah.
you touched on the idea of, like, being respected earlier, I
Hmm.
wanna say, or being understood or something like that.
Yes.
And I think that maybe, people who would tend towards the change the world in a small way, and not that it's a bad thing or
Hmm.
anything, but, they tend to want more respect.
Recognition or
Yeah,
yeah, yes.
yeah.
Hmm.
Whereas somebody who's would side with the wanting to change
Hmm.
one person's life deeply is more, they themselves, but also they wanna understand one person
Yeah.
really well.
Yes.
So,
And
yeah.
it's hard because it's thinking like everybody gets an opportunity to partake in the change. They're affected by the change, but does everybody need that change?
Yeah. Whereas this
Within the
one
world. That one
person.
person for sure you've touched the life and the person needed it and their life is different. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like
Well,
if I answer now, I won't be authentic because you explained what the two may mean.
yeah. It's
So
just it's an interesting question.
very
But yeah,
interesting. Very good.
we'll leave that one open-ended.
That's a very good
Yeah.
question.
All right, 2 more. Follow your head or follow your heart?
If I could only do one, I'm following my heart at this point. Like between
Mhm.
those two, because I feel like I'm following my heart and
I feel like at this point in your life.
trusting in my heart. Like I've done all of the work and
Yep.
now my heart has aligned to where it's keeping me safe as well. Because trusting my heart, I feel like if I can trust my heart, I'm trusting myself. If I'm trusting my head, then I'm trusting maybe what I've learned in school or something. I don't know. I just feel like trusting my head is more rigid.
Mhm.
Trusting my heart is more the art. So the head is the science, the heart is the art, and I'd rather paint a picture. Like, you know what I mean?
Ooh.
Like, like for real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, because like
Spitting
honestly, like
bars this afternoon.
and I think about like with the science, a person will tell you that this color goes with this goes with that, but you'll never experience something different or something rare because you were afraid to kind of step outside of what science is telling you to do, you
Mm.
know? And as a like a doctor, there's gonna be sometimes we have dude X, Y, and Z, these steps, but then you may have a patient that requires something different. But definitely heart.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I
following
mean,
my
I
heart.
think just something you've already touched on, like, you have cultivated your intuition over,
Mhm. Yes. Yeah.
decades now, and so I think that that's almost maybe synonymous at this point with, like, trusting your head or going with your
Mhm.
head because your intuition and your heart has been
Yes.
cultivated to this point.
Aligned. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good question.
Alright,
Got
and
me over here thinking.
last one.
Okay.
We, like, touched on this one a little bit, but would you rather be understood or respected?
I'd rather be understood. I don't think people may not may not respect what you're doing. You may not respect. I've said it. You don't have to respect me, but I've said you also don't respect me too. But for me, I think it's understood because that's what I really desire for people to feel when I'm communicating with them, that they feel understood in that moment. Because who am I to tell somebody what they're doing is right or wrong? Of course, we all know it's certain things that's like, okay, you harming somebody, you go murder somebody, and they didn't do anything to you. I think most people can say that that's wrong. But when you're talking to someone, I think it's huge when you can talk to them and remove yourself from the equation and just listen to them from their perspective, and allow them to have that space. Because I think what it does is it also lets you know that you believe what you believe. Like, I don't have to put down what someone else believes to prove what I believe.
Mm,
It's almost like marketing. Like, instead of telling me all the great things about your product, you telling me the things about this other person's product that's not good. Before you know it, you didn't even tell me the goodness of yours. You just telling me that product is bad. So I think, yeah, being understood. I mean, if you respect me, that's okay. I really don't care, actually, I guess,
yeah.
but being understood, I'll just say something because that was funny. Like, you ain't got to respect me, but you understand, like, if you have to like pop somebody in the face because they don't respect you, not that you do that. I'm not violent at all, but I think being understood, because that's what I truly desire to provide for other people. That if
Yeah.
there's nobody else that understands, I'll take the time to understand, because I know understanding doesn't mean I have to agree with you. And that's okay too. But I can definitely understand where you're coming from or understand your perspective in the context of your life.
And
So,
I mean, you can respect people for different, personality traits, but in my
mhm,
mind too, respecting somebody a lot of the time means, you respect their title. Like, we respect
mhm,
lawyers and
yeah,
doctors or
yes,
people of prominence, or you
mhm,
respect somebody because they make a lot of
yeah,
money. And those are all, great things for the people who have them, but I think that to be understood as a human is probably, I mean, I don't think it's actually listed as a biological need, but
mhm,
it damn near should be, like,
yeah,
just, like, to be under, how you feel and what's going on in your headspace
mhm,
and all that stuff. So I agree
yeah.
with you. I think to be understood is probably one of the most important
I think so.
things to me.
I think in relationships, that's like the probably the number one thing where you can have two people arguing, and it's just taking the time to understand where the person is coming from
Mm,
is like huge. And it's like, and it's not understanding again to agree or somebody being right or wrong. Cause I think of times that I have a conversation. There's someone I'm thinking of, the previous job I had, we would talk, and I'm like, man, I'm not here to try to say who's right or wrong. I'm
yeah,
trying to understand where you're coming from. I'm
right.
trying to understand your perspective. I was talking to, gosh, some was it? Trying to think, was it you, Nora? No, who was I talking to? And I kept telling them I'm not trying to. Oh, it was yeah, I was talking to Danielle, and
Mhm,
I was talking to her about AI,
mm,
and I was just trying to get her perspective because she works in that field where
yeah,
she does like computer stuff and
software, yeah.
software stuff, and I was getting her perspective on AI because I think it's a great tool. And her perspective was, well, because she knows more about it, like the power that is taken up, like the amount of energy that's used for
Absolutely.
AI. And I was like, oh, I didn't think about that.
Mm,
And I kept telling her, I was like, hey, I'm not trying to be combative. So when I come back with this another like counter or another question, it's just to try to understand your perspective. Because I found many times I've talked to someone and they'll say something like, "Man, I didn't even think about that."
mm,
And it's like, because we all limited to just what we think.
yep,
So definitely understand.
absolutely. Alright, thank you for the, this or that segment.
This was great.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's a great way to kinda, like, get to know somebody superficial and much deeper
Mm-hmm.
level as well.
Yes. All
Alright.
right.
So I'm gonna ask this question. I think you've already given me one, but I
Okay.
want another one.
Okay.
So my question is, what is one fun fact about you that most people don't know? And so we can't do this only
I can't
black
do the
person
ski.
from Louisiana that knows how to ski.
The fun fact. Gosh, I think when you gave me the fun fact, what is something
A secret talent,
people
uh,
don't know? Secret talent.
or are
Thinking.
you a collector of, like, very
Mm,
random, obscure things?
oh, I collect golf balls. That's not fun fact. I'm thinking because I want to share, but I'm trying to think of a fun fact. Think, Derek. Think.
I can see smoke flying over here.
Yes, I'm thinking. I'm trying to think of something.
It
It's
could
not
be
a fun
something small
fact.
too. I mean, golf I don't have a collection of golf balls
Yeah.
too, so that I mean, that
Yeah, I have a collection of golf balls. Oh, this may be a fun fact. I lived in Japan for 2 years.
Oh,
I lived in Okinawa, Japan. Did you not know that?
I did not know that,
Oh,
no.
that's a fun fact. Yeah, I lived in Okinawa, Japan when I was in the army. So yeah, and I've been to Tokyo Disney. Very fun fact. Another fun fact, which is a thankful fact, I was in the Army for 23 and a half years,
Mm.
and I never went to combat.
That
That's
is
a
an incredible
that's a
stat line.
that's incredible, thankful, fact. I used to
Yeah.
be embarrassed about that when I was in the Army. Now that I'm not out of the Army, I'm like, "You know what? I'm thankful."
Oh, yeah. That is
I mean,
a
I appreciate everybody else who went and did the things that they did, but, I don't know if I would've been able to see some of that stuff and still been okay. I don't know. I'm not even trying to make sense of the reason why, but that's it. Like Okinawa, Japan. Oh, here's another fun fact. I used to, like, produce music on like, a computer program, and I have, like, 300 songs that I submitted to the copyright place. That's kinda
really?
yes. So, lot
What
of
kind of
music.
genre?
Oh, like hip hop and R&B, just whatever sound good to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to listen to it sometime.
Oh, yeah,
Actually, the
absolutely.
song on the podcast, the intro, whenever I play like a little 1-minute clip,
Oh, that's
yeah, I made that
that's
music.
sick.
Mhm. Yes, I
Alright.
did.
So we got a closet musician over here.
Oh, man, I don't know. I don't know about that.
Alright. What do you in your mind, what do you think is your greatest skill or talent?
My greatest skill or talent, hmm, I think it's like people skills, like my emotional intelligence.
Mm,
I really do think 'cause it's like taking care of me now, and now that I'm out of the Army, like, towards the back half of my Army career, I was able to get jobs, and I think it was just my personality, just
mhm.
being me. So I think I truly have a gift of edification, and I'm careful, like, I'm not saying none of this stuff, like, trying to be, like, bragging or think I'm certain I don't know, 'cause sometimes I wish I didn't care and I could just go off, but I really do believe that I was given a gift to be able to put words together that make people feel better, and it's very genuine. Like to be able to identify those things
It
in the
is not a
person that I
common gift
see.
either. So
Yeah.
I yeah.
Yeah. So, and I really enjoyed it, and it's something that I've like not ashamed, but didn't do often because you can come off as like really cheesy.
Mm.
But then now I'm in a place like, man, I'm just trying to be me, and I want to remind people of the goodness that they do have in them or that I see. So that's one thing, and I can naturally throw a football for whatever reason.
Naturally a quarterback.
But unfortunately, I'm like short, so
Mm.
not very tall.
Well, can't have it all.
Yes, can't have it all.
You got the emotional intelligence piece.
Yeah.
And I think,
Hopefully
like
that
yeah,
answers.
absolutely, and I think just to, like, go off that a little bit too, I think I agree with I think that is one of your, like, greatest assets, and you speak words to people that make them feel good or seen or understood
Mhm.
without really expecting anything back,
Mhm.
and I
Yes.
think that's a really beautiful piece to that too,
Mhm.
because there's I mean, there should be in good relationships, there should be reciprocity,
Mhm.
you're giving and you're taking, and that's sort of just the dynamic of any type of relationship, friendship,
Mhm.
romantic, intimate, whatever. But I think, just as a person, and you don't even need to know somebody really well, like even just coming up to me that very first day and
Mhm.
saying something, you just said it to say it. I got the sense, and from your body language, you weren't expecting anything back. You
Mhm.
didn't need a
Yeah.
compliment. You didn't need anything.
Yeah.
You said what was on your mind, and were wanting to like touch me
Mhm.
in a nice way. And yeah, it was like I think that's a really beautiful thing that not a lot of
Mhm.
people have. So I agree.
Yes. Well, thank you.
I agree,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Do you think you've always had that, or you think it was learned or cultivated, or maybe you had it, in your younger years, but it's just grown a lot
Yeah,
stronger?
I think it's grown stronger. I'm more intentional now, I guess, with it, and that's because of I can specifically remember being in therapy when I was in I lived in Colorado,
Mhm.
so that was like around 2014ish, 15 to like 2018. During that time, going to all kind of different types of therapy, and I finally found a one therapist that I would see, and that was like the last one I saw throughout that entire time.
Mhm.
And just a lot of sessions I had with her, I was able to embrace just who I am and just accept it. So and then I think another point was when getting being separated and feeling like I'm like, oh my gosh, what the hell have I done?
Mm.
And going through that, like having doubt about all of that stuff and being depressed and just being in a very, very difficult situation mentally. Then it was like, man, I just want to show up as me. And that's where kind of where just keep showing up came from. Just, man, I just want to be me and having conversation. Like specifically, I think of Nick, one of the guys, who that owns the gym,
Mm.
having like so many wonderful conversations with him just at the dog park, like in our
Mm.
apartment complex, realizing that, some of the challenges I've gone through, I was like, man, this stuff can help people. So that's when I was like, okay, well, I just want to, talk to people and we can just share. What do you do for yourself to keep showing up? Yeah, so so I've cultivated it over time, that gift, and now I'm just trying to be very intentional. It's all bleeding into even like being in school now, studying psychology. Yeah, so it's just like, and then I think just getting older, and people say life really starts at 40. Of course, that's all relative to the person.
Sure.
Because a lot of people, you multimillionaire, you're like 25 and got all kind of stuff going on.
Yeah.
But I think it's just embracing who you are, because you look behind you, see things that didn't go well when you was trying to be safe, but then still find yourself in a difficult situation. So I've definitely been very intentional about it. The fact that we sitting here with these lights in here, this podcast
Yeah.
was birthed out of very tough times. So yeah, I think I've cultivated it over time. I
Yeah.
think it was something that was there. Because I've talked, like my aunt reminded me of some things from like my childhood. But yeah, I've definitely cultivated it just through life.
Yeah. You touched on a little bit you being in school and whatnot, and I just wanted to give you some flowers since this is
Hmm.
about you and your show, and I just, like, have a lot of respect and admiration for you wanting to go back to school and educate yourself further,
Hmm.
and I think that I mean, psychology is, like, vastly interesting to me. I think that, you know, people are the biggest resource and commodity we
Hmm.
have, not in, like, a cold way or anything. Like, I think there's
Hmm.
so much to be gained from understanding other people, and so I think it's an incredible thing that you're studying that and wanna do more with that. And so I think kind of on that note, things that you're working on that, this podcast has been cultivated over time. You're applying, yourself in school right now. What is looking forward? What is one of the biggest things that like excites you about your future or what excites you about the future?
I think just living life. Like I think about, so I can go back and I defined my life, like this was a couple of years ago, into like four different phases. I talked to your mom about it, and they were like right now being in the cultivation years of where now I'm taking all the things I learned prior in life from my developmental years and sacrificial years. That's the first 40 years.
Mhm.
And I'm cultivating all that. So I'm really excited about getting older,
Yeah.
like aging. Like I think about, like I'm 49, I'll be bicentennial baby. So next year I'll be 50. And I really think about, man, I can't wait till I'm like 60 years old and get to enjoy those times and things that are in place to potentially live a certain life. So it's just getting older. I'm excited about. I'm excited about seeing my kids, like what they're gonna do. Like
Mhm.
one thing that really is exciting, believe it or not, as crazy as this may sound. So my son graduated from high school this year,
Mm.
but graduated in 2025, and I was not. I was like, Damaris, just give community college an opportunity. Just give it a shot. So he was going just because me and his sister asked him to go, and he did it, but it just wasn't for him.
Mhm.
And we talked about it, and he wanted to stop. And I was like, you know what, Damaris, okay, if you want to, man, I get it. I understand. But make sure you go talk to your counselor there, and you go and tell them, okay, this is not for me. I want you to be able to address it head on. Don't just run from it and own it. And now he's working, a job that he's not crazy about, but he is working, but he's doing it. So I'm really excited to see what he does in life by doing things on his own terms.
Mm.
I'm excited for that, uh, because yeah, I'm just really excited. Not in the sense of I think he's going to do well in life, and I'm just really looking forward to that. This particular thing with Demar, and my daughter too. I think she's working in her purpose as well as a school teacher. So yeah, that's what I'm excited about. I think just continue to live life in the future of getting older
Yeah.
and just seeing like yes.
It's such an interesting point that you said too, like, I mean, I guess very simple, but I'm excited about getting older. Like, I do not feel like you hear that statement very
Mm-hmm.
often. There's
Yeah.
so much I mean, in everything from, healthcare, the, like, anti-aging serums that
Mm-hmm.
women are marketed or, um, uh, like Rogaine for men,
Yeah.
whatever it may be, like, they're just everything that's trying to,
Mm-hmm.
reverse the clock, and I think it is you are must be so comfortable and at ease with yourself that you're like, "I enjoy where I'm at right now, who I
Mm-hmm.
am, and I
Yes.
can't wait to see where that goes." So,
Exactly. Very well. Just very well said. You said it better than I did.
I'm just
Yeah. No,
paraphrasing
no,
your
no.
words.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. And I think another thing that's probably, uh, is it attributing, contributing? I don't know what the word is, but I look at like one of the most difficult things that went through my life that happened on my life journey so far. But I look on the other side of that, all of the amazing people that I met. Like I can't
Mhm.
imagine not having certain people in my life that I have now. that I probably that maybe would not have been there because my life was going on a different path. Like I wouldn't be sitting here doing this podcast, not with this title, not with you. I don't think had things not pivot the way that they did. And yes, it's just it's given so much value to the difficulties that I went through.
Mhm.
So it makes me like look forward to the future. Like I don't want to. I'm trying to go into the future like still kind of being able to move and looking okay. So if you got some serum and everything, I'll take that too and still age.
Yeah. I'm not dissing the
But
serum too hard or anything, but yeah.
yeah, but yeah, so that's why. So yeah, definitely excited about that. There's other things as you get older, your parents get older, so I'm not looking forward to that part. But you know what I mean? So you
Yeah.
have some things that's rough about it. But yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but I think that's just yeah, like, that's the beauty of life, the ups and the downs, and, like, like you just mentioned, like, parents getting older, and there's always gonna be a downside to getting older,
Mhm.
but I think that embracing that and kind of figuring out how to make it through that is sort of a beautiful thing as well. So,
Yes.
so kinda, like, last thing to wrap up here, so I can't tell if we've been talking for 30 minutes or an
Oh,
hour
it's
or
been well over 30 minutes. 57 minutes. Look
alright,
at that.
yeah, there we go.
We right on
Yeah,
time.
we could talk for another 2 hours if we wanted to, but,
Yes.
this like, thank you for, this thing that you've built. I think
Mhm.
it's probably touched more people than you realize, and, you have the people at the gym you've interviewed, people who have left the gym now, and
Mhm.
people from your work life, your friends, everything, and I think that it's, just special thing to be able to share, like, conversation like this with
Mhm.
people, and just sit down and be raw and honest. So, thank you for what you do. I feel
Yes.
very honored to have been able to
Oh,
sit
yes.
here with you for the last hour and interview you
Yes.
so the viewers can get to or listeners, whatever, can get to know you more.
Mhm.
But, going back to the OG saying, "What keeps you," after describing everything that's happened from your childhood to now,
Mhm.
what keeps you showing up?
I think that's kind of going back to my mom. Like, just like the joy she gets, like, she like legit, like, if I send her, I don't know, like a picture, like, I could take a selfie and send it to my mom. You think she just got a picture from Idris Elba or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, she really, like, I don't know, like, brags on me. Like, I don't know, but I don't like always like take that to heart and try to puff my chest up at
Mhm.
all, because I know it's my mom. She's biased.
Yeah.
But it's that, and then knowing that, like, I just look forward to, like, being able to continue to help people, man, and just the excitement. I think I know it's very cheesy, but just the excitement of life. And just dreams that I do have of being able to just, like, again, continue to help people in life. That's kind of basically it. It's like no longer, I mean, I enjoy things myself, but I think I'm still here now just for the benefit of other people. I'm okay with that.
Mhm.
Like and I'm not saying like in a relationship, like I don't want like equal treatment in a relationship or just to get walked all over, not that kind of stuff. But me personally, what I give back is just giving of myself to the people around me. And I really feel that I don't have, that's why I think with the podcast, I'm not like a person trying to go out and recruit people and go all over the world. I really feel like the people that are designed for this podcast are people that's within the space that I live in
Mhm.
already, and it's kind of worked out that way because I talk to people and I'm like, man, I can't, like, I'm thinking we're going to talk about one thing where I'm going to get one insight. And I'm like, what in the world? Like, this is so good.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sitting in therapy, so
Yeah.
it's been really good. So for me, I just keep showing up. Yeah, just to continue to just, I don't know, try to be a light uh, in our world. That's it. Like, I know it sounds cheesy, but that's the truth.
It's not
That's just
cheesy. It's just
my
honest.
truth.
Yep.
Yes, that's it.
Well, thank you for being the light for
Yeah.
so many people. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Big boss son over there. So,
Yes.
okay. Well, thank you for listening to the Just Keep Showing Up podcast.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Peace.